For the Hulk, I start off with his body cutout, obviously. I probably don't need to keep saying that. I think this is the biggest body I've made for a Rivals character so far. In-game, he's supposed to be 7'7", just 1 foot taller than Captain America, exactly. Honestly, I'm kinda just surprised I time-lapsed this part. I made him so long ago as opposed to when I'm editing, so I forgot I even did this. I actually ended up finding a dead bug in my stuffing while I was making him. Just thought I'd show that off. Hate it when that happens. I just figured that since it was so big, I'd skip it. Kinda like Groot. However, skipping Groot really backfired on me, so I guess this isn't so bad. When it comes to making his head, the simplicity of it just continues because I don't actually need to give him button eyes, which allows me to have a lot more control over the eye placement and how it turns out in the finished head. With Hulk's giant jaw, I also get to have fun with the head shape. Something I can say pretty confidently about this guy is that he's 100% the easiest character that I will have to make in this video, which I think is obvious to anyone with eyes. In fact, he may also just be one of the most fun because I get to do a lot of marker detailing on him. I rely on it more than typical. I just generally get to enjoy making him. To finish the detail on the head, I can color on a fade with a Sharpie, similar to the trick balding people will use to pretend they're still human. With that, I can start working on the dreaded muscles. A large quantity of Hulk's detail is his muscle mass. I think despite that, I still don't think this is as much as I've done on my Venom. Either of my Venoms, really. My feelings on making muscles haven't changed though. I still hate it. I mentioned that it puts a lot of pressure on my needle to do so, possibly breaking it, but besides that, it even just hurts my fingers to do. On a positive side, I do kind of enjoy how much green I'm using here. I don't tend to get to do a lot of green stuff. I also just really like the shade of green that I'm using here. It's not that weird olive green the MCU uses, but it's also not a dark forest green. It's a nice vibrant green, and I had just barely enough to make all of them. This guy is massive. Is it weird that instead of Hulk being just Hulk in my mind, he always reminds me of Terrence from Angry Birds Space? I remember loving that he was green in that game when I was younger. That's mostly because green was my favorite color. I remember when I was younger, like 7 or 8, I used to take a Sharpie to my Angry Birds plushies and try to make them look like superheroes. Or I put a Build-A-Bear mask on them and pretend one of them is Spider-Man. I suppose not much has changed in 11 years.